Welcome back to Inside PressBox. While the Preakness Stakes may be over, there's still plenty of racing action and fun to be had down at the track. This week, Pimlico handicapper Frank Carulli gives us an in-depth look at turf racing.
Most races at Pimlico are contested on a dirt oval. The fans should also know that inside the main track is a sprawling, well-manicured turf course that is used for at least 3 races on most live racing days. Pimlico's turf course is big enough to handle 14-horse fields, which appeals to bettors and gives owners and trainers an additional outlet to test their thoroughbreds. Pimlico hosted 98 turf races in 2012, and the average odds of the winners were 6-1. Most horses entered to run on the turf have bloodlines to suggest they will handle the grassy surface. But some are entered because their main track performance is not up to par, and the connections are hoping a change of surface will bring a change in performance. Fans can view the top 100 turf sires in North America for free by logging on to thebloodhorse.com and clicking on Sire Lists. Pimlico's turf course has plenty of undulation, requiring jockeys to be strong and make timely moves, in addition to negotiating traffic in crowded fields. And just as tennis pro Rafael Nadal excels in the clay courts of the French Open, and golfing great Fred Couples often appears on the Masters leaderboard, jockeys Horacio Caramanos and Forrest Boyce seem to have an uncanny knack to win races on the Pimlico lawn. Turf racing at Pimlico dates back to the track's opening in 1870. In fact, the Grade 2 Dixie Handicap, held now on Preakness Day, is the 8th oldest stakes race in the United States.
Thanks, Frank. And who knew, by the way, that they had undulation under the Pimlico turf track? For more on turf racing taking place at the track, or if you're interested in more helpful betting tips, just head to pimlico.com. Now we shift our attention to Towson sports. Earlier this week, former Towson Athletic Director Mike Waddell announced that he was leaving the Tigers to become an Arkansas Razorback. This just the most recent development in what has been quite a turbulent year for Tiger sports. Here to tell us all about it is PressBox writer Simon Habtemariam, who covers Towson University. And Simon, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
A lot of news coming out of Towson University over there on Osler Drive.
Yep, it's been a
tell us about the Mike Waddell situation.
Well, Mike Waddell, after about just under 3 years as athletic director at Towson University, has accepted a senior associate athletic director in charge of external communications.
Media, stuff like that.
Essentially,
yeah.
A lot of people like to call him the athletic director of Twitter. He's very, very well known for social media use. He's well known for his background as a broadcaster, but also as a marketing executive, in that he's able to tell a story and promote a brand on multiple changing mediums. And now going to an SEC program in Arkansas on the eve of them launching the SEC television network, this seemed like a move that Arkansas wanted to get. And this seemed like a good move for Waddell while he's striking while the iron's hot. Towson's endured a lot of success in the last 3 years.
Sure.
6 conference championships this past season.
And so where does this leave Towson? What characteristics in an athletic director do you think they will be looking for?
And what they will be looking for is much to be determined because of new Towson president Marvine Loeschke. She has a background as an educator in the liberal arts, not a very strong resume when it comes to athletics and development, and that has a lot of fans, alumni, not so much a lot of fans, supporters, almost skeptical as to whether it'll be another Mike Waddell sort of very driven, very motivated, very passionate athletic director to come in and take the bull by the horns here, or if they will bring in somebody that maybe just gets the job done quietly without a lot of fanfare around it.
Now, there does seem to be some more money coming into the athletic program. It broke this week that the company CQ, which is a credit union here in Baltimore, the Maryland area, is close to a deal with Towson University to name the new arena. Don't have the numbers handy, but again, this is a step up in a series of steps that Towson is taking to elevate itself.
Yes, the new arena has pretty much been the biggest project with circling the athletics department of this school for quite some time now. The fact that the doors just opened for commencement ceremonies this past week was huge. They'll have their first ticketed event in June. The Harlem Globetrotters are coming down. And then on top of that, there's been just the success that the sports teams have had. Towson basketball this past year had the greatest single season turnaround in NCAA hoops history, going from a 1-win team to an 18-win team. Things like that are pretty pinnacle, or pretty they describe well the situation that Towson's in now as opposed to where it was 2.5 years ago.
At the same time, a couple of sports that, aren't or haven't been doing well. Everybody knows about the soccer and the baseball program. Apparently baseball has been saved, at least for now. My question to you is, what about soccer? Apparently soccer has not been saved. What is the reason that baseball took precedence over soccer?
When it boiled down to it, the Title IX numbers were used to sort of explain the situation. They were the reason why the money was given from the state to the university system of Maryland, as opposed to just a lump sum of cash being given to Towson. Now it's in the university system's hands, and that's being delegated through channels that the state and the athletic director and the Towson president are all contributing to.
Final question, looking ahead to next year, can basketball build on the success from this past year? And does Rob Ambrose's football team, they lost their quarterback, have a shot at recapturing the conference crown?
I think as long as Rob Ambrose is coach of the football team, they are always a conference contender, and that's saying something, being in the CAA. Given what we just saw in 2 years of Pat Scarry, seeing him as a great bench coach, seeing him as a renowned recruiter, the reason that he was pretty much brought in, I don't see why they couldn't contend for a CAA title, especially a diminishing CAA next year with George Mason and teams like VCU already having left. The competition isn't what it used to be, and that's a title that I think Towson could have contended for this year had they been eligible.
Thank you, Simon. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Towson beat reporter for PressBox. We look forward to reading more of your stuff.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll go on the ice with the Baltimore Saints. Don't go away. Want a great t-shirt for the female sports fan in your life right now? Check out the Your Turn t-shirt. Available now at yourturntshirt.com or at the Zone Superstore at 1744 East Joppa Road.